Hello everyone, and welcome to another video where today we're taking a look at one of the aspen trees that fell in the last hurricane. Specifically, this is an old big-tooth aspen. Only the old ones will get this type of bark. But I want to figure out exactly how old this is. And of course, the best way to do that is to cut it open with a saw and count the rings. Now, this is a pretty large tree, so there's a lot of wood I need to saw through to actually complete this goal. I've picked a day where I can put a lot of work in. You know, it's cooler, windy, cloudy, that sort of deal. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull this off in one day, so we'll see how long it takes. What I will say before I start is that I'm going to try and cut really close to the base. Specifically because with how much wood is here, how heavy this tree is, there is no way I want this to bow inwards and trap my saw in there, because I'm not going to be able to get it out. This should provide enough of a counterweight that the cut will splay up as opposed to trapping the saw. Alright, here we are after about an hour of work. Gotten pretty far, but I know that might not look like a lot more to go, but the last bit always takes a lot longer than you think. This tires you out quite a bit. Now, while I rest up and hydrate for the final stretch, let's talk about what practical use all this information has. Of course, there's the novelty of figuring out how old that aspen tree was. But it's a lot of work just to get one little number. But I can use that information to try and estimate how old a tree of the same species that is currently alive will be. And this is the tree I'm most interested in. This tree is bigger, grander, and since it's of the same species, almost certainly older. And I can take the average of how much the other tree grew each year, and subsequently how many years it took on average to grow an inch, and use that to estimate how old this tree is. It's not an exact science, but it should give me a rough estimate of how old this tree is likely to be. In the home stretch now, and there's a little note about safety that I figure I should clue you guys into. This is an incredibly heavy object, and if you look at the bark, you'll notice that it's shifting this way. So I should not be sitting here at all anymore. If I'm going to be cutting, I need to be on the other side of the log, because it's going to twist this way and fall basically where I'm sitting. If your leg gets caught under this, you're not going to be able to get it out by yourself. That's a 911 call easily. It's even more apparent here on the safer side. Note, safer, not safe. I still have to keep a very good lookout as to what's happening. Well, there we go. Took about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And as you can probably see, what I was looking for didn't exactly pan out. Looks like I'm going to have to do another cut a little further up the tree, because there aren't exactly any rings in the center to count. Light's getting low. I guess this was a good workout. Plus, it's not like it's going to get any wider further up the tree. And you can at least still see what I mean with the rings right here. Well, nature isn't always forgiving. The good news is I already made another notch further up the tree that's actually at a better height to compare the two trees. The main reason I did the cut here was to use the roots as a counterbalance, as I mentioned before. And now that that's taken care of, I should be able to cut through this no issue. This may also give some insight into how the tree died. Based on the state of decay, it seems like this was already like this prior to the tree falling. And if you look towards this area, you can actually see it sort of starts from the edge. This might have been an injury that the tree sustained, and then it just progressed into some interior rot. Anyway, I suppose that was a good trial run, good practice, and certainly a good workout. Hopefully next cut I'll be able to actually get a decent cross section and count the rings, figure out how old this tree is. Hope you all learned something and enjoyed. See ya.